Okay, so this week is about dating experiences. I have noticed a few things. A, guys are not 110% truthful. By that I mean they can go on a site like Meet Me and post a picture of a cartoon character and make you think that they're a mature adult. In reality, it could be a 12-year-old kid sitting behind the computer. Just saying. Another thing is, it's complicated. It's not complicated. Either you're in a relationship or you're not. Figure it out before you get on a dating website. And don't get on a dating website unless you are single. Let's make that crystal clear. I talked with a gentleman this week, uh, and I thought, we'll start back with the other gentleman. I talked with one gentleman this week. We'll go with Mr. California first. Things went south pretty quick with him because he started this, well, Easter's coming and you're not going to send me an Easter present? And I thought to myself, Donna, think of how much money you invested with Mike and being in North Carolina. And think about how much money and time you invested in that relationship for it to go nowhere. So at first I was going to send him, maybe a chocolate Easter bunny. But then he wanted money. And I was like, whoa, okay, if you want a relationship, you got to slow this down. And he started giving me this, well, are you comparing me to Mr. 8.5 years? I'm a totally different situation. I'm a 45-year-old man with a little girl. Okay, fine and dandy. But don't expect me to be your sugar mama. I guess you live and learn. He said that I was blaming him for my past experiences. Maybe I am, but then again, I'm trying to build on that and know what I want out of life. And knowing that I would be a sugar mama is something I wouldn't want. We'll go with Mr. Pure Country. We'll call him that. He's a little younger than me, and I don't know. He's in Illinois. That's a great point. However, I think he's ready for more of an adult relationship rather than a serious relationship. And don't get me wrong. I want a kid and I want a family. However, I want a ring on this finger before we even talk about family. So I think he's rushing things. So we're friends, but I don't know if that's ever going to go past the friend point. We have another guy on my website of Meet Me where I thought he had promise, major promise. I mean, I was all hyped. You can ask all of my friends. I was dressed up on Friday, thought that it was going to be the date, the guy, the one. Little did I know, he was just seeing if I had any plans for Friday. And he wanted to have his whole weekend to plan the date. After he had already told me, well, let's get together Friday. Granted, it was open-ended. However, it wasn't up to my standards. If you're going to make me basically get dressed up to look good for you, then you better have time for me. I'm just saying, I like organization. I like to know when, where, how, and why before the date even happens. I guess maybe I'm too organized in that retrospect. Dr. Michael and I had a great chat this past week about dating experiences and where I want them. He said that maybe my standards are a little high, so I went back onto POF, took some guys off of my blocked list. That doesn't mean if you've been blocked on my list, go ahead and message me now. It just means maybe I have been a little bit rough and I'm examining the situations. Always the holidays brings up my dad. In fact, my mom brought up my dad the other day. She was like, you better not get in contact with your father. Let me put it this way. My dad's choice to walk out, a parent's relationship is based on the parent being an adult knowing how to treat the adult child. Now, he chose his relationship with me when I was 18 because a divorce happens between a wife and a husband. It never should happen between the child and the father or the child and the mother. And he walked away free and clear and decides not to communicate with me. That's his decision, that's fine. However, if he was to reach out to me, even my grandma was like, you can't be so closed-minded on this. Well, there was some, I don't know, maybe this credit counseling. I talked with one of the credit counselors today, and all I can tell you is this time of year is quite depressing for me. I can't do anything financially. I'm in a spot where, I'm being honest with you all here, there is no money. Between rent, car payment or rent, and paying the insurance on my car, to my health insurance, to my life insurance, to also my credit card payment, because they smashed them all together in one. But there is a credit card I have to pay separately. In fact, I don't even know how I'm going to make ends meet this coming week. So, you know what? I would say I'm doing a lot of praying right now. I'm turning everything over to God. And when the time is right, the right man will come into my life and things will work out. I just feel like right now I've got to focus on my health. I'm not going to run after a guy. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I'm burned out, really. I mean, you just get to that point that you've had enough. And I've had enough. Whether or not I ever get the chance to be a wife or a mother, I would never, ever want my kids to be in the middle of a pulled situation. Let alone, I would always want to be probably the parent that if I see them struggling, I'm there for them. If I see them, in a spot or in a bind, I'm going to say, okay, how can I help you out? And I'm going to probably overextend myself like I have already done. Yes, I know that. But, I'm also learning to set boundaries and learn what I want out of life. Learn that time is valuable because you only get one go round. Second chances are very rare. And if you give one, be grateful you got it. That's my wise words. I've had so many conversations this week with my dear friends about second chances and if you give them, and one of my friends is going through this horrible thing with her ex right now where to me he's wanting to be an alpha male. He sees her with a roommate, and yet that's not him, and that's his kid, so he wants to be the ultimate macho man. You know what? Be grateful that there's a male role model there in that kid's life when you're not around. Be grateful that that kid has some guidance when you're not around. I see all this hurt, and it just makes me wonder if love does exist. I mean, it must. Look at my grandparents. They're going on 70 years of marriage. But I think that sometimes love is meant to be for the lucky and the strong. I don't know if I ever will be that, because it seems like when they walk away and I'm not good enough for whatever reason they can come up with, whether it's a best friend's wife or a mutual friend or God knows what, I'd like to be good enough. That's all I have to say on that. Relationships totally suck. And I hate to sound like a sour... I mean, I'm the one that reads all the romance novels and wants to believe that, the best is yet to come, and you never know when the right chance may come. But I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And frankly, I'm about ready to give up hope on the romance situation. Call it my high hopes, call it whatever. I know my time clock is ticking and I don't have long, but that's not going to force me into a relationship that's based on one thing. Because not only would I suffer in that relationship, the kid from that relationship would suffer. Why get into that? Thank you for listening to this week's dating experiences. And just know that the best is yet to come. Never give up hope. Never give up on yourself. And believe in miracles. After all, Easter is about miracles. So may this be the best Easter ever for one and all. Stay tuned. We got some singing to do.